see some?
Okay. Basket. Oh, put those ones in here.
Okay.
I think we got enough.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I can't believe green bean season is already here for us. This is amazing. Usually it's not for a few weeks yet, well, at least a couple more weeks until we start having green beans. Usually it always falls right before tomatoes or right during having tomatoes, so then we're struggling doing them both at the same time. So to have this many ready already is a blessing because we can get these done, get them out of the way, and then continue to do more. Now tell me, is there anything better than sitting on a back porch snapping green beans? Go ahead, I'll wait. So what I ended up doing this time was picking green beans for 2 days, and then I went ahead and canned them. I've done this before where I will snap them, put them in the fridge, and let them sit up, usually a couple days, up to a few days if need be, and that way I can can them all in one big batch instead of doing a bunch of little batches. I usually rinse the green beans a couple times. I like to rinse them, strain them, rinse them again. And this is when I go through, now when I pick them or when I snap them, I go through and I look for bad ones, throw them out, and then I inspect them again as I'm rinsing them to just make sure there's no bad ones, no leaves. And if I see anything like that, I'll pick it out. Otherwise, they're good to go. The recipe I'll be following is in this book. This book came with the pressure canner, and I will link the exact pressure canner I'm using in the description. But the recipe in here, it's very, very simple. All you need is salt and water, and I'll be adding something else, and I will show you what that is to help keep the green beans a little more green. Before we get started, I wanted to quickly share with you the pressure canner that I'm using. It is the All-American Model 930. The thing that's really nice about this one is you can double layer the jars. So I can actually fit up to 14 quarts of jars in here. It's very well made, highly recommend. The next thing I'm going to do is take my salt and put it in a bowl just to make it easier to scoop out teaspoons whenever the canning process starts. Once I'm in the groove of canning, I just like to move, and I didn't want to fiddle with trying to measure this out into a teaspoon, so I just find this easier to put it in a bowl and measure from there instead. Now I'm getting the lids and the jars ready. I am washing them with hot soapy water, and I will temporarily set them aside. Once I wash them out, I am going to heavily clean out the sink. I go a little overboard with this. I wash out the sink a good 2 to 3 times. What I tell myself when I'm cleaning out the sink is, okay, would I pour water in this sink and drink out of it? And when I feel like it's clean enough that I would drink water from it, then I feel comfortable putting my jars in it. I don't know why, it just always kind of creeps me out that, you know, we use our sinks to wash all of our dirty, you know, dishes in, but then we're also using them to sanitize the jars. So cleaning the sink is just something I take very serious to get all the germs and ick out. And so, yeah, 2 to 3 times is what it takes me to get there. Now I am filling up the sink with hot water, and I will fill it up enough to cover the jars. The manual for this pressure canner says to put 2 to 3 inches of water in the bottom to start with, so that is what I am doing now. I put probably closer to almost 3 inches in the bottom. All right, and it's finally go time. So I am just taking the jar out of the hot water that is in the sink, putting the funnel on, and then I'm going to pack it as full as I can with green beans. No matter how full I feel like I pack it, they always float to the top. There always feels like there's room in them. So I'm just going to pack them in the best that I can. Obviously, I don't want to overfill it, but you know, just try to get them all in there the best that you can. I will use a spatula to try to cram them in, my fingers to try to cram them in, and just pack it as good as I can. Now is when I add the teaspoon of salt, and then I am also adding a zinc tablet, a 50 milligram zinc tablet, into a quart to help keep the green beans green. It's totally optional. This isn't something I've done before, but I've seen other people do it with great success, so I thought I would give it a try. And then I am filling it with hot water. I thought it would be a good idea to use my tea kettle for this, but I ran out of water really quickly with it. So then I ended up filling another pot with water and got that boiling as quickly as I could just to keep everything moving. Now I'm using the spatula to go in and try to get out the air bubbles, any air bubbles that could be in there. I just slide it down on the sides and get all those out. Now I use a slightly damp cloth to wipe the lid clean and get out a lid, set it on, and put the band on fingertip tight to put it in the canner. Now I get to repeat this step 10 more times, which is amazing. These are 4-quart glass Pyrex bowls, so I thought maybe I would get 9 quarts if I was lucky. And just to be safe, I always wash and rinse a couple extra jars, so I thought 12 seemed like a good number, and so much to my surprise I got to do 11, and so I'm very excited about that. With my canner, it's really easy to get going. I set the lid on, twist it till it's locked on, and then I lift all these knobs up and take turns rotating them, going from one side to the other. Definitely make sure you read the manual for your specific pressure canner. I am not teaching you how to pressure can. I am just showing you what I am doing with mine. My regulator is marked with different pounds of pressure. I am doing 10 pounds of pressure for these per the manual, and there is where the 10 is located. So when it's time to put it on, that's what we will put it on, is the 10. My manual says to wait until there is a steady stream of steam coming out, which now there is. It's kind of hard to tell in the video, but in real life there is a steady stream coming out, so it'll be time to put the regulator on. My manual says that once the regulator starts to jiggle is when I am supposed to set the timer. So now that it has jiggled, I set the timer for 25 minutes on my phone, and then I am just going to sit here and watch. My manual also says to not let that regulator jiggle more than 4 times per minute. It said 1 to 4 times is good. So basically I'm just gonna hang out and watch this thing and make sure the pressure stays in check. If the pressure starts to get above 10 pounds, I will decrease the heat just a little bit. And if it gets below 10 pounds, I will increase the heat. So I'm just gonna stand here, watch it, and make sure it sticks around 10 pounds, adjust as needed, and wait until the timer goes out. Once the timer went off, I turned the stove off and let it set. Now, it was my bedtime. It was actually past my bedtime by the time this all happened. So I let it sit there, and my husband took care of waiting for the pressure to get to 0. And then he took the jars out for me and set them on the counter. So the morning I woke up to 11 beautiful canned jars of green beans. And there we have it. Thank you so much for sticking around. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video if you want to stick around to see more content. And we will see you in the next one.